GroovyTek.
Preparing your technology continuity plan. In Southern Florida, we're all familiar with the traditional steps necessary to prepare and to stay safe during a hurricane or other natural disasters. From boarding up windows to stocking up on groceries and other essentials, it's always important to stay prepared. As we now find ourselves in the digital age, it is helpful to take a look at how technology can play a role in preparing us for living through disaster conditions. We believe that spending time before a disaster situation to understand the role your personal technology can play in your disaster preparedness is imperative. A dose of TekPrep can lead to the difference between a smooth evacuation and disaster survival, as opposed to entering a realm of frustration that could have been avoided with some preparation. In this webinar series, appropriately titled TekPrep, we'll cover how you can work with and prepare your technology so it can be smoothly integrated into your disaster preparedness. This is a 4-part webinar series, and in this session, we'll be covering preparing your technology continuity plan. In times of crisis and disaster, it is more important than ever that we are able to fully maximize and utilize our technology in order to help us adjust to transitions we will experience in our day-to-day lives. Working ahead of time to be sure that your technology will be both functional and enable you to be productive despite disruption. What good is having your cell phone or laptop with you if you aren't able to use it? Today we will be taking a closer look at that. How can we prep our technology so we can make the most of it during times of uncertainty when we're in a different location than our traditional home base of operations? We will start by taking a look at options to keep our devices running and effective when we are not able to count on them being charged by traditional means. We will then examine options for storing and backing up our systems and data. These options can help us bring information with us, regardless of where we might end up hunkering down. We will also take a look at how to use newer technology to help us keep track of our pets as well as our devices. After that, we will touch on strategies that will enable us to have access to data and networks. We'll also discuss how to prepare devices that you leave behind, so they'll survive until you return. And finally, we will talk about what points are most important to you when you prepare your own technology continuity plan. When it comes to staying productive, making sure that you don't have anything holding you back is paramount. When you're away from home and out of your routine, it's easy to get disconnected. But if you need to keep being productive at work or continue making progress on a crucial project, you need to plan ahead. If you don't have access to important information, there's no way you can pick up where you left off. That's why it's crucial to make sure there's nothing lost when you change locations or devices. If you always have the potential for productivity, you can make use of the time you have. Power chargers. Mobile charging options are the way of the future. These days, you don't have to be at home or near an electrical outlet to charge your phone. Instead, you can just plug it into your car. However, if you're in the middle of a natural disaster, you might not be anywhere near your car. And draining the battery to keep your devices topped off isn't a great idea. If you're staying at a shelter, there's still no guarantee that you'll be able to charge your devices. That's where solar power chargers come in. There are 2 types: direct solar chargers and battery bank chargers. Direct solar chargers connect solar panels to your phone through a USB cord. Unfortunately, most solar power chargers aren't very space efficient. Some are created for avid hikers with foldable panels that spread down your backpack as you carry it throughout the day. Given natural disaster circumstances, it's important to make sure your charger choices reflect the situations you might find yourself in. For instance, some solar chargers don't do well at all in cloudy conditions. Others take up way too much space. If solar power chargers aren't up your alley, then you can always turn to battery bank solar chargers. These get charged ahead of time, which means you can use solar or conventional electricity options. It's a good idea to charge these at home and keep them ready for emergencies. Then, you can plug into them and charge your device whenever you need to. Anker's solar phone charger is a great option, but it lands on the high end of price points at $119.99. It weighs under a pound and comes with an 18-month warranty, so it might be worth it to you. Hiluki's battery bank charger is much cheaper at $46.99. It's one of the best battery bank chargers available, and it might be exactly what you're looking for. Ensuring continuity for projects, files. An essential aspect of any technology continuity plan is ensuring that you will be able to operate on other devices, as if they are your original device, or recreate your working environment. What does that mean? Well, if you aren't able to log in and use your traditional technology, let's say your desktop computer at the office, you are still able to use a different device to work on files and use the same programs and features you always use. There are two primary solutions to explore to achieve these goals. One is making use of external hard drives. The other approach would be to utilize a cloud-based storage system. If you already have a Google Suite account through a Gmail address, then you can use Google's cloud storage. Drag and drop your files into the part of your account that's labeled My Drive. It's mostly meant for documents, particularly Google Docs. But you can store photos, videos, PDFs, Word docs, and more. If you're using a Windows computer, you likely have access to Microsoft OneDrive. You can drag and drop files into this cloud-based storage system too. This will help you pick up right where you left off. 30% of people don't bother to back up any of their files. That results in countless documents, photos, videos, and projects being lost. Computers can crash at any time, without the added pressure of a natural disaster destroying your devices. If you're looking to avoid losing all of that, you can also back your work up to a hard drive. To do this, it's fairly easy to clone your current hard drive that's on your computer. It duplicates all the programs, files, documents, and information on the current drive. Then, when you use this hard drive on another computer, or even on your old one, it overwrites that device's hard drive and turns it into a clone of whatever information is located on the hard drive. To do this, it's worthwhile to invest in an external hard drive with lots of storage space. If you're trying to clone all the information on your computer, an external hard drive that can fit a terabyte or more of information is a great choice. If you just want to save a few files to ensure continuity, then a flash drive will work for your needs. GPS chips for pets. In the old days, putting tags on your dog was the best solution you could hope for when trying to find your dog if it got lost. If someone found your pet, they could check the owner's information stamped on the collar tags and contact you. It wasn't a foolproof system, but gave you a shot at having your pet returned to you. Now, there's more technology available to track your pets. But now that we find ourselves in the middle of the digital age, we can look to use a GPS chip to track the whereabouts of our pets in real time. Currently, there's no such thing as an implantable GPS chip for humans or animals. There are microchips and other devices that do have tracking capabilities. Getting your pet microchipped ahead of time will help someone identify it. The information on the microchip will help someone find you and return your pet. Unlike a collar, it's impossible to lose since it's implanted into your pet. However, microchips provide information. They don't give GPS tracking capabilities. If you are looking for that, smart collars exist. While they rely on battery life and the collar not being removed, It's still a great solution in case you get separated from your pet temporarily. Some options include tracking collars with a battery life that lasts an entire month, is waterproof, and works well if you're separated from your pet during emergency disaster situations. Find My Phone and similar apps. Now that we are all relying on our smartphones for information and connectivity in all circumstances, imagine losing track of your device in the midst of a disaster. Maybe you've misplaced your phone. Did you leave it at the shelter or in the car? Maybe you forgot it on your kitchen counter. If you've misplaced your phone and need to locate it, device manufacturers have come up with lots of ways to assist you. Find My iPhone, Find My Device, and other Apple or Android apps can help. Google's version is called Find My Device. If you turn it on in advance, there are a few options. If you're constantly leaving your phone in odd places around the home, this might help, even if you have a habit of turning your phone on silent. If you enable the Play Sound feature, your phone will ring for 5 minutes. This ringing feature overrides the last volume settings on your phone, even if you put it on silent originally. If you think your device has been stolen and are desperate to protect your information, you can also remotely wipe your phone through Find My Device. Called Erase Device, this setting allows you to wipe all content from your phone. Beware though, once you take this step, you can no longer track your phone at all. To stay on the safe side, you may want to lock your phone until you find it again. This option is called Secure Device, and this allows you to lock your phone and sign out of your Google account. This makes it difficult for anyone who finds your phone to access it. This is a great option because it's less drastic than wiping your phone's information, and you can still track your device afterward. If you like, you can still customize the lock screen to display a message or a phone number. That way, whoever discovers your device will hopefully contact you. If you own an Apple device, you can take advantage of Find My iPhone. You can utilize it to find any of your other devices too, like your iMac or Apple Watch. Once you get it set up, you can sign into iCloud.com on any device you own. Then you can track your device on a map, erase all your personal information from the device, make your phone ring until you find it, lock your phone, and more. To set this up, go to the home screen on your device. Then tap Settings, Your Name, iCloud. Then scroll to the bottom and tap Find My iPhone. Then toggle the option that allows you to turn on Find My iPhone. You may need to sign in with your Apple ID too. If you've got AirPods or an Apple Watch paired with your device, you'll be able to find them the same way too. Hotspots and data plans. If you're nowhere near a Wi-Fi connection, making use of a mobile smartphone hotspot can help. These types of hotspots convert data signals into Wi-Fi signals. That means any other devices that would normally need the internet can connect to this Wi-Fi hotspot. Keep in mind, though, that using your smartphone as a local hotspot will use up your data and your battery more quickly than you might anticipate. To set up a hotspot on an Apple device, go to your home screen. Then tap the Settings icon and open the Personal Hotspot section. You'll see a toggle button that allows you to turn the hotspot on and off. Turn it on. This will convert that data signal into a small Wi-Fi router. The network name will be the same as your device's name. For instance, it might be John's iPhone 11. Tap Wi-Fi password to secure your hotspot access with a secure passcode. If you're using an Android device, go to your home screen and swipe down from the top. Open Settings. Then tap Connections. Scroll down until you see the mobile hotspot and tethering option. Tap on it, then tap Mobile Hotspot. This will enable the hotspot. Tap on the current network name and the password, so you can update both of these for your personal security. If you're worried about your data plan, check in advance. If you're headed out of state to evacuate, does your coverage area include where you're headed? And if you're going to be using your data plan as a Wi-Fi hotspot, it might be a good time to upgrade. If you're planning ahead for impending natural disasters, updating your data plan to support your entire family's new needs is crucial. Care for devices left behind. Packing up smaller devices is easy. Kindles, iPads, smartphones, you can pack them in an electronics bag and carry them with you. But what about your larger devices? Smart TVs, iMacs, and other large electronics are impossible to carry with you. That means you need to have a plan for these devices. Like we detailed above, you should always back up your files. This is especially true for devices like iMacs, so you don't have to start from scratch if this device gets ruined. You might consider putting your devices into a storage unit. But depending on the conditions of that unit, it might be worse for your devices in the long run. Or you can store your devices in the homes of family or friends that might not be affected by the hurricane. If neither of those options is available to you, you might have to store them in your home. If you're doing that, then it's important to take a few things into account. One thing to consider is where your devices are located. Rather than keeping your TV in a room with lots of windows, it's better to move it to a windowless room. That way, if your windows break from debris being flung around in the wind, your devices won't immediately be soaked. After you move all your devices into a windowless room or a room with fewer windows, think about where you're putting them. Placing them closer to the ground isn't a good idea. If your home floods, these electronic devices will be the first to get damaged. You could place them on the highest shelf of a closet or on top of your bed. Once you've selected a safe location, what else can you do? Try stashing electronics in waterproof bags. This may be easier if you're leaving behind laptops or Chromebooks rather than smart TVs. If you have large plastic tubs, these also provide another layer of protection against the elements. If you have no rooms in your house with minimal window placement, put your electronics on a table in the center of the room. Keeping everything you don't want to be damaged away from the windows is crucial. Before you leave your electronics, make sure they're unplugged and powered off. This will help make sure they don't sustain damage even if water does reach them while you're away from home. Preparing your continuity plan. Everything we have discussed so far today prepares us to be able to develop our own individual continuity plan. Because let's be honest, even when you're in the middle of a natural disaster, life doesn't stop. You might work remotely for a company that's based in the Midwest, and they're not being affected by the hurricane, even if you are. Or you need to find some sales figures from a few quarters ago for your boss for a big pitch meeting in California. If you can get your devices to work with you, it makes your experience much easier. Regardless of what situation you find yourself in, the worst thing will happen at the worst possible time. Even if you plan ahead, what can you do to ensure that you'll be able to utilize your devices if something goes wrong? The answer is developing your technology continuity plan. Here are the bullet points for this plan, based on what we covered so far today. Make sure you have the ability to charge your devices. This might mean investing in a solar charger or a battery bank charger. No matter what you choose, make sure you have a backup plan. Ensure continuity. Are your files backed up? Can you access that Google Doc offline to keep working on that project your boss is looking for? No matter what it is, make sure you can access your files from anywhere, on any device, whether you have Wi-Fi or not. How will you track your pet? If you're taking them with you, it might be easy to get separated in the chaos of evacuating. Investing in a microchip or a smart collar is a great idea. Even when you're at home, it's easy to forget where you left your phone. And if you're staying at someone else's house, sleeping in your car, or living in a shelter, it's even harder to recover your devices. Making sure you can find them means enabling apps like Find My Device or Find My iPhone. How will you work without the internet? You'll need to figure this out before you have to access it. Make sure you know how to set up a hotspot on your phone and upgrade your data plans. Maybe you can't take your desktop with you, or you have to leave your huge television behind. If that's the case, make sure you have a safe storage plan to leave them in your home. When you're trying to cope with the impending chaos of a natural disaster, having thought-out and well-prepared technology continuity plans are crucial. Being able to operate and maximize these technology tools that are usually in our pockets or bags can make the difference between how you manage a disaster scenario. Here are some of the most common questions we've received about creating these plans. What other Find My Device apps are available? Some other apps are meant to help keep track of family members. While breaching someone's privacy isn't recommended, it can help if you're all trying to keep track of each other and get separated during a natural disaster. If their phone is on them, some apps will track their phone, even though the primary idea is tracking a person's location. These apps can be a great way to find a lost phone, too, without the traditional Find My iPhone option. Can I use a GPS chip to track my pet? No, you cannot. Microchips are a walking library of information about your pet. But implanting a GPS chip isn't possible with current technology at this time. Using GPS smart collars, for instance, is a great solution for this. Do solar power chargers work without direct sunlight? It's important to read reviews before you make a purchase. If you're expecting a hurricane, don't purchase a charger that relies on sunny days. Many solar chargers work without direct sunlight and would be a great fit for your TekPrep plan. Can I stream video content over a hotspot? You can. However, it's not recommended since it uses up your data so quickly. Most carriers limit high-speed data, which is what you need to stream lots of video content effectively. While it will definitely work to stream short YouTube videos, it's not recommended to kick back with Netflix while using your hotspot. How can I prepare my data plan ahead of natural disaster? Will you be traveling? You might be leaving the area to escape and obey evacuation orders from local authorities. If that's the case, then you'll want to check to make sure the area you're traveling to is covered. Once that's accomplished, think about how much data you'll actually need. If Wi-Fi isn't available and you'll be trying to conduct all your normal business on your data plan, it might be wise to bump up your plan to the next tier in advance.